Hi, I'm Sierra. I am a women's health physical therapist. So I am passionate about the whole journey from pregnancy and labor and postpartum recovery. I wanted to share a little more on newborn sleep habits, which I think is a great aspect of postpartum recovery that's often overlooked. So getting good sleep and helping our babies get good sleep from those first early weeks. So can you have a newborn that's a good sleeper? I think so. And I'm not talking about sleep training. I don't think that we should be sleep training our newborns. For the first 4 to 6 weeks, it's just survival. So feeding them when they're hungry, cuddling them all the time, helping them get good sleep. We don't let the baby cry when they're this young. There are things you can do to help establish good sleeping habits that can help with that transition into sleep training when the baby is a little bit older in that 4 to 6 week age range, when it's safer to let the baby cry a little bit and help them to learn to self-soothe. These tips that I'm going to share in this video will help with that transition later when the baby's a little bit older and you're wanting them to be sleeping a little longer through the night. I believe these tips applied early on in those first weeks of life can really help with that time to not have a baby that actually does cry a lot. You may not need to let them cry it out if you establish some good habits from the very beginning. Number one is to help the newborn baby know the difference between night and day. Oftentimes when babies are first born, they are a little mixed up on this and they want to sleep more during the day and be awake in those nighttime hours. So helping them learn that when it's daytime, the windows are open, it's bright, letting all that natural light in, and trying to stimulate them a little bit more to have a little bit more wake time where they're interacting with you and the family, showing them some black and white pictures or whatever it is while they're awake. And then at nighttime when they're sleeping, trying not to fully wake them up when you do get them up to feed them and change their diaper, keeping the lights down as low as you can, and allowing them to know that it's still nighttime, it's time for sleeping, so you'll feed them and then just put them right back to sleep. The second thing is establishing a good sleep environment for them. So babies are just coming out of their mama's womb, and the more that you can mimic that, the better. So swaddling them really helps to make them feel contained, and then adding a sound machine can mimic the sound that they're hearing in mama's belly, where mama's blood is circulating through her body. So the sound machine can sort of mimic that and also drown out any other background noise that they're not used to. If you have other kids in the house, or just noise around the house, it's good to have a little sound machine to drown that out and help them feel like they're in that same environment of the womb. The third thing is to try to establish some sort of schedule and routine. Newborns are a little unpredictable, and that's okay. This won't be perfect or look the same every single day. So establishing a regular wake up time is a good start. Or maybe your baby's going to be a 6:30 riser, or a 7 or 7:30 or 8. Whatever it is, you want a 12-hour time frame. So if they wake up at 7:30, then you want to try to aim for a bedtime at 7:30. So they're really getting 12 hours of sleep from the beginning. And then having that consistent wake up time can be helpful for baby to know, okay, this is the start of my day. And then also knowing wake windows and sleeping time frame for baby. So a newborn wake window is at least 35 minutes. So that could include the time that they're getting their diaper changed and the time that they're nursing or having a bottle. That's considered a wake up time. As long as they're getting a little wake window after you wake them up, and then when they show some signs of being tired, which could be red eyebrows or getting extra fussy or rubbing their eyes or maybe looking like they want to eat but then they're not latching, these are all signs of sleepy cues. So knowing that the baby is fed and they have a clean diaper, it's probably a good time to lay them back down, know that they're ready for sleep. So not offering a feeding, but maybe offering a pacifier and a good little rocking to get them drowsy. And then if you're like me and you have two other kids that you're looking after, it would be a good time to swaddle them up and lay them down and allow them to learn to fall asleep on their own. Otherwise, you could do a contact nap or baby wear, whatever feels right for you. Another important thing to do during this time is to help baby learn to fall asleep on their own for 2 naps a day. This is often easiest for that first nap of the day. So baby wakes up. For my baby, she's waking up at 7:30, and then we have a feeding, and she has a little wake time, and then she's ready for her first nap. And so what I do is I just swaddle her back up, make sure she has a clean diaper, lay her back in her crib with the sound machine, and offer her a pacifier if she wants one. Sometimes she doesn't even want a pacifier and she just kind of lays there and slowly drifts off to sleep. So that is a huge win when baby puts himself to sleep. And this is also good to do at bedtime so that baby is in the environment that they're going to sleep for the whole night. So when they do wake up, they'll see the same surrounding that they had when they fell asleep. And this can help them fall back asleep eventually when they're having more of those regular REM cycles like we do in adulthood. Shoot for that. 2 times a day, baby puts themselves to sleep. For the other naps during the day, it could be car naps, it could be contact naps, it could baby wear, whatever works best for you. For me, when I'm home, I do a lot of naps where baby falls back asleep in the crib because I have 2 other toddlers that have a lot of needs and my hands are often really full. So for me, it's really good that she can put herself to sleep, and I'm hoping that this will carry over as she gets older. The other really helpful tip is to keep a daily log. So this will help you start to notice a routine for your baby. So if they're waking up at a similar time every day, and then how long their wake period is, and then when they have their first nap, and that can help you keep track of how long they've been asleep, because you really don't want newborns to sleep longer than 2 hours stretched during the day before you're waking them up and feeding them. It's good to feed them every 2 to 3 hours so that they're getting a lot of calories in during the day, and then they can sleep a little bit better during the night. Of course, right now in the first 4 weeks of life, you're still waking baby up every 2 hours at night to give them a feeding, but as they approach that 4 week mark, it will become okay to let them sleep a little bit longer stretch for one stretch of sleep a night, up to 4 hours at that 4 week mark. So if you can get enough calories in during the day, you can know that your baby's had enough food and that they can sleep during the night. So keeping a good log can really help keep track of that as the days get busy and then you forget how long have they been asleep or when did they eat, and that can help you know if they're tired, if they're hungry. When they're fussy, you can know what they need. And those are all my tips for just getting some newborn sleeping habits to help have a good little sleeper when baby's a little bit older. I hope this is helpful for you as you're navigating those newborn days of not knowing exactly what baby needs. I hope these tips are helpful for you to feel a little bit more confident in what your day is looking like with your newborn baby. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want more useful tips like this for sleep training and postpartum recovery and labor prep, as I'm passionate about all of these topics, and you will find all of that on this channel. Thanks for watching.